Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Heritage Public Library's Adult Craft Program Button Bouquets. Today we will be making some small button bouquets. Here's an example of one that I did for the sample. In your kits, you'll have a bag, and inside of it has a coil with 3 strands of wire that are approximately 12 inches long. This is aluminum wire. This is just some wire that we had here at the library. Any thin wire, floral wire can be used. You have to be able to twist it a little bit, so you don't want it too firm. In the kit is also a 6-inch piece of wire that is bent kind of like a paper clip thing. This will be an accent at the end. And then you have an assortment of buttons. So the first thing you want to do is arrange your buttons, small or largest to smallest, so that they stack. See, here's the sample. So they stack like that. They nest in with each other. There's also some buttons that look like flowers. And then there are some really teeny, teeny, tiny buttons that are centers for the flowers, and just arrange them however you'd like, whatever looks pleasing to you, so they stack like that. If you are using a button that has a domed side on it, we're going to use the flat side up, so the dome will be the bottom. It just makes it easier to stack that way. So let's take a couple of minutes here and arrange our flowers, our buttons, so that, as I said, they look pleasing to you. The stacks will have 3 to 4 buttons depending on your preference and what I included. So the tiny, tiny buttons look really nice on the flower buttons that have like a dome in the petals, the tiny, tiny center. I don't even know if you can see how small that button is, but it's really, really, really tiny. But that looks really cool in the center of that. And all right, so I think I have my buttons arranged in the way that I like. So now the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my long pieces of wire, and I'm going to bend it in half. It doesn't have to be exactly in half. It can, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to try and tighten the bend as close as you can, as small as you can, that way. Now, taking the ends of the wire, you're going to put it through the holes of the smallest button. 1 wire through each hole. Like that, and push it all the way to the top. Now you don't want to pull too much with this wire. It can break with too much stress on it, too much force to it. So just pull it all the way to the top, and you should be okay. If it breaks, you'll have to get another piece of wire. Put the next button in, and then the last button. Okay. So there's my buttons all stacked up. Now I'm going to turn it over to the back, and I'm going to crisscross the wire as close to the bottom of the button as possible, and then just continue turning the wires, twisting them together all the way down the length of your wires. And then you're going to repeat that for each of the 3 buttons, button stacks. And they may meet up at the bottom, they may not. It's okay. It'll work out. If you want them to be perfectly even, you can cut them with a wire cutter. We have a wire cutter, but honestly, it really doesn't make a difference. And then you're just going to repeat with the other buttons that you have. If you have a button that has 4 holes in it, you'll be putting the wire through the diagonal holes. Diagonally, not the ones across from each other, but the diagonal holes. Just take a minute to do that. Now in the kits that I put together, we used a bottle that had a cork in the top. You can also use a vase that doesn't have a cork and then use an assortment of fillers. This one I'd use pearls that I had in my craft closet. This one is foam beads that I got at the Dollar Tree. And they come in an assortment of colors, so you could mix them up if you wanted to. And this is some little plastic beads that I also got at the Dollar Tree. I needed some yellow ones that were in this package. There were 5 or 6 different colors in this package. I used the yellow ones for the project, and so I had these left over, so they make the great small vase fill as well. So you can use an open vase. Just you have to put something in sand if you have a tall skinny neck that you can't get beads through. That would work as well. And really whatever you want. I even thought that maybe some wooden beads would be nice. I have some wooden beads, but they're too large for the vases that I had, so I didn't like it. So, you know, whatever you like, then you just stand them up in there and, of course, make as many as you'd like. And that's really great. All right, that's 2 done, 1 more to go. Bending the wire in half, putting it through the tiniest button. And the next one. This is really a simple craft, but they look really, really adorable. And one of our patrons actually brought one in that her sister had made, and I said, oh, that is sweet. I think that we should try and make those for one of our adult craft programs. So there you have it. All right. Now the last thing that we have to do before we assemble the vase is to take one of the toothpicks out of a cork and then take the short wire and you're going to wrap it around the toothpick. If you're assembling your components yourself, you can use a bamboo skewer, a knitting needle, anything that's going to give you a spiral that you can wrap it around. Take it apart. You're going to leave about 2 inches straight at the ends, and you're just going to elongate the spring just a little bit, and then you can either just poke that into your vase, or you can attach it to one of the flowers just to make it go up a little higher, you know, just like a flower would have a filler or whatever. So here I'm just attaching it to one of the flowers. I'm going to bend the flower a little straight and then put it in. Now that one seems to need to be bent up just a little bit. It's a little too tall for the rest of the flowers that are in there. So I'm going to just put it in. And since I have this one here, I'm going to just add the rest of these flowers that I've made to some that I made previously. And just play with whatever your filler is until things work out nicely. And that is the button bouquet flower vase. I just hit end.